Hello, hello. Sorry to keep you Oh my gosh, of course the sun's gonna be a problem. Is it? Is it? Is the shade gonna be too much? Maybe. Maybe. Let me hold on, people. Do we need to move the camera a little bit to the Huh. Hopefully this glare isn't too much here. What if we do this? What if we zoom in? Zoom in a little bit. And then we'll go this way. Slide. Oh, but the monitor, does it work? Maybe it does. Hey, there we go. I know, we're getting a little close. A little too close for comfort. Sorry, guys. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. We're doing a sports stream this time around. Which, in fact, hold on. Let me center it back up. Oh, yeah, this looks fine. I will admit, it's a little zoomed in, and you can kind of see. There we go. At least so you can't see right there. Just with how, almost like clockwork, every single day, sometimes there's a huge glare, and as you can see from the spots on, my right shoulder. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Let's get into it. Hopefully because it's gonna be weird like this for like the next 30-ish minutes, but then all of a sudden it'll calm down because usually like we are in prime time for the lighting and stuff to be weird and stuff. But I thank you guys for being here. Welcome back to another stream. Here's what we're gonna do. There are a couple things on the docket that we should talk about, and this is one of them. We got to talk about the World Baseball Classic because that is something that is really big right now. You know what? In fact, give me 2 more seconds. I got to turn the fan on. It is kind of hot in my room. Let's turn the fan on. Give me 2 seconds. It's going to be super bright too. Not that that would be a problem, because it's not a problem at all. Let me see. Yeah, look at that. Look how bright. It might be a little bit brighter because we got the contrast of the sunlight and the room's light. Okay, maybe that might fix a couple things. But it is super bright in here. Anyways, hello. Let's start this from the beginning. We need to talk about a couple things, and some of the things that we need to talk about in this stream that I want to go over is the World Baseball Classic. We have not been able to talk about it at all because I don't know. I haven't. I don't even know the standings, if I'm going to be honest. I figured Puerto Rico would be pretty good. And it just started too, like Team USA. I know that Team USA, we've played Brazil and we played Great Britain the other day, which Great Britain's sitting at 0-3. Oh, it's not letting me do. Darn it. It's not doing what the Olympics would let me do, which is click on the team to be like, hey, let's see how many. As we can see, Chinese Taipei, because we talked about this a little bit in one stream a little while ago. These guys started it first, and that's why they have the most games. So, oh my gosh, I read this wrong. I thought it said 2-5 because I was reading the 500. My bad. But they have 4 games under their belt versus, Colombia has 3, Brazil has 2, USA has 2, Italy 2-0. Very surprised. We have the Dominican Republic. I think the DR is going to be really good. A lot of people are talking. They have a pretty stacked roster, all things considered. And I don't think, with how much I was talking about hockey and USA hockey in these Olympics, I think Team USA has a lot of work cut out for them. And I really think with just how stacked some of these other rosters are, eventually, like, I think we might get a rematch of last World Baseball Classics final between Japan and Team USA. But I would not be surprised if the Dominican Republic gets an upset against Japan, or if something like that happens, just because of how we're gonna go through roster spots. We'll look at the rosters. We'll look at everything. So, anyways, if you guys enjoyed baseball, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it a little bit more. So, as we can see, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Italy, USA, Japan, Venezuela, and the Dominican Republic are all sitting at 2-0. This started, I want to say, last Friday, if I'm not mistaken. It's been, or did it start? I think official group play, I think their game was on Tuesday or Wednesday night. And so I think, because the USA played the other day. Let's look at some scores here. Because I can't remember. Oh my gosh, the Penguins just tied it. If you guys are a fan of hockey too, we got a couple games we'll go over. Here, let me actually, in fact, let me show y'all. Where is it? NHL. So the Penguins just tied it. Yep, just tied it 4-4 from Mantha. It's been an entertaining game. So far, we've had 4 goals in the third period alone. So, that's pretty entertaining. All right, but we can talk about that later. We will talk about that later. Yeah, because we had a couple non, what's the term I'm looking for? Exhibition. We had a couple exhibition games, because the Team USA played Colorado, and then they played San Francisco. Where is it? Well, there's the Colorado one. They did a mercy rule on this one because it was 14-4. Yeah. And like, look at that. Top of the 8th, put another 4 on them. So it's like, come on. Okay. Standings. Do we have a bracket ready to go yet? Kinda. Ah, look at this. Okay, here we go. We get to the pool winners. All right. Let's do this. Okay. Pool C runner-up, Pool D winner-up, to be determined. Pool C winner, Pool D runner-up, to be determined. Oh, okay. Let's look at Pool C and Pool D. Let's see who wins those pools. Pool C. Oh, wait. Oh, Pool C is going to be Japan. Come on. And Pool D, the Dominican Republic. I would check also. I think they got eliminated earlier today, because I think we have games going on right now. Yeah, this one has a rain delay. This one's in the top of the first. Mexico and Brazil, that's not happening until 8 o'clock tonight. One of these games had a walk-off the other day. Yes, it was Panama. And then, the Korea and the type of had one. Okay. Netherlands. No, because that's just final 10. Okay. Oh my gosh, Italy whooped Brazil, dude. 8-0. Jeez Louise. Okay, all right, back to today. Sorry, people getting a little distracted. So this one has a rain delay. Japan beat Australia 3-4. Cuba beat Colombia 4-7. Oh my gosh, mercy rule against the Netherlands 12-1. Italy beat Great Britain 4-7. How close was this game? So Great Britain had the lead till the bottom of the third. Oh my gosh, okay. And then that 3-5 stretch, scoring 7 runs. That's ultimately what sealed the game right here. As you guys can see. Interesting. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think the Great Britain game against USA yesterday, yes, it was very close till the bottom of the fifth, which I don't remember who. Is this the game where Schwarber? Yes. Okay. Schwarber was the one that got it going. Yep. Okay. Because again, I mean, took till the fifth inning. Took till the freaking fifth inning to get going. So, but 9-1. All right, but then the bracket. So the standings. So we have Pool C winner and Pool D. So the Pool C winner, Japan. Oh, Japan's already there. Duh. Oh my gosh. Okay, that it must have updated when we weren't looking. Okay, let me pull it up. Oh, you can't even see it, but I have Japan right there. Sorry, guys. And then, which in fact, here, I can make me smaller. Let me make me smaller. I can make me a little smaller. Alright, so we got Japan here. And then their runner-up, I think... Yeah, definitely Australia. And then I like this. The Dominican Republic and Venezuela. And then probably... So then that would mean... Let's go here too. So then wouldn't Pool C runner up, so we'll have Australia here, and then Dominican Republic right here. Oh my, okay. So the quarter, okay. I think the number one overall seed's gonna go over here. Ooh, because what? Because I'm looking at it where do we have, because like let's say USA goes undefeated, they're the number one overall. You know, they'd be the Pool A winner or Pool B winner here, and then Pool A winners over here. So then we'll have, and then who would be the runner-up in that pool? No, wait. I think Mexico could be the runner-up in Pool B. And then, yeah, I like Puerto Rico and Cuba. But I would look at it as, do we want Japan to play Team USA in the semifinal or save it for the final? I don't know. Because again, to be determined. To be determined. And then the final. Oh man. All right. Let's look at some. Who's on Team Puerto Rico? Hey, wait a minute. Not messing. Yeah, the rules are a little bit more relaxed in the World Baseball Classic versus what am I? Oh wait, I just looked at Puerto Rico. pickleball. The rules are a little bit more relaxed because they are. Man, the hats have there's no aura at all to the hats. The hats are pretty ugly. Not just Great Britain. Like, none of them have cool hats. That one's just an eye. Okay, Mexico's is pretty cool. The M in USA. I've never I like the jersey. I don't know. I feel like we could spiff it up just a little bit. I don't know. And again, dude, this freaking, we shouldn't lose, but again, we'll just see. Oh, we got a little brawl here. Oh, great save by Shilas. So I guess today's Skinner's day off for the Penguins. He played the other day in their loss to the Flyers. Yeah, going back to Nolan Arenado, see USA. But again, I think it's, you can play for like your heritage of your family or something, which, you know, and then we got another one from USA. The other thing too is there's a lot of American-born players and they didn't make the cut. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, well, if they'll let you play, then yeah, go play over there. See, we got another USA here. A college kid. Looks like there's a college kid on their roster. I did hear about there was a college kid on Team Brazil, a high schooler that played, which is, again, how cool is that? That'd be pretty freaking cool. Okay, let's go check out Japan's team. Again, freaking loaded, dude. I don't know who can beat Japan. I don't know who's going to be able to beat him. Wait a minute, bruh, what is this? No, I'm messing. I don't even think Canada does. Oh, Canada does have a team. Hey, wait a minute. Why aren't you playing with Canada? I thought this was Shea Gill just for a second. My bad. My bad. Shea's been sitting lately. That explains why. He's been playing basketball. That's why he hasn't. Which actually, I think he had a. I think he officially, him and Tatum. I think him and Tatum came back on. Now, granted, it was different circumstances on Shea's comeback versus Tatum's, but I think, yeah, I think Shea came back lately because he had a 3 against Draymond that was all over ESPN the other day. Get back to the Dominican Republic. Tatis, O'Neal Cruz. Oh yeah, this team, Soto. This team's stacked. This team's freaking sick. I kind of feel the way I feel about the DR is kind of how I feel about Canada's team for hockey, where I think when you look at the roster, well, actually, no. Let me retract that statement. I think going into the Olympics, one thing that I talked about when you looked at just the experience and the veteran experience with Team USA versus Team Canada, all the collective members of Team USA combined had the experience of winning 4 Stanley Cups. 2 of them belonged to Matthew Tkachuk alone. The other one to Eichel, and then I think, gosh, who was the 4th one? It might have just been those. Maybe it was just those 3. But in contrast, when you added all of the cups up together for Team Canada, it was 22. But then they also mixed in the stats of, well, if you also look at MVPs and Hearts and what's the defensive trophy? What's the defensive player of the year trophy called? I can't think. But the only reason why they brought that up is because McDavid doesn't have a cup, but what he lacks in cups, he makes up for, and like he's won a couple, stuff, and before he got to the league, and then also the MVPs that he won, I believe. In fact, let me go. Hold on. Let's go look up his accolades. Let's go look up. Connor. Yeah. So, the Art Ross is the points leader. He has 5 of those, 3 MVPs. The Conn Smythe, which, I mean, I agree with him winning the Conn Smythe in the 24 finals, and it is because he dragged them to 7 games. Like, it could have been a sweep, but the Oilers just simply did not go away. They forced 7. What's the one? Well, actually, I'll just look up trophy. What's it called? Oh, the Norris. Yeah, okay, James Norris. Okay. Anyways, but they were talking about, like, they were stacking up experiences and stuff, and how Team Canada had 22 cups, and I was saying the whole time, if this is Canada's to lose, if they lose it, they're going to make a movie about whoever wins it, just because of like the sheer experience. And I'm kind of getting that vibe and that feeling with Team USA, and the reason why is just look at Team USA's roster, and with how many guys, I mean, are in the big leagues right now playing. And I mean, of all the guys in the league, like, these are the, oh gosh, don't make me count here. 4, he doesn't count. No, I did. But 4, oh shit, I'm going to count. 30 best guys out of, oh gosh, how many players are in the MLB/farm teams? Anyways, Team USA should win it. They should win it. But if they don't, it's going to come at the hands of the Dominican Republic or Japan. I don't know. It's theirs to lose. It's seriously theirs to lose. But honestly, though, with how well Shohei Ohtani played in yesterday's game, and with how he's been the last handful of years, I would not be surprised if he put on an absolute clinic and Japan goes back to back, because he is he was the closer in that game a couple years back, and he ultimately had the final strike on Mike Trout. Which, by the way, Mike Trout's not even. Yeah, Mike Trout's not even here. Could that be because injury? I think he is injured. And so if Mike Trout was here, I think PCA probably wouldn't be here. Judge would definitely be here, but I don't know because Trout's outfield and yeah. Anyways, okay, let's see what games we got coming up now. So yeah, we got Brazil, Mexico tonight. Mañana, we got Mexico and USA. I think this is going to be a good game. Oh, Paul Skeens will be on the bump. We'll see about that. Yeah, I gotta catch up and because once we start the bracket. Oh, we got a little bit of a scuffle going with Carlson. Well, if you guys missed it, the Bruins had a great chance. Couple good stops there for the Penguins at the very end. That game's going to go to overtime, tied at 4 apiece. Here, let me click the refresh button here. But yeah, at one point, this was a 3-0 game. Look at that. 3-0. And then the Penguins came storming back. You know, if I was Pavel Zacha, I'd be pissed too, because look at this. He's got a hat trick. How many goals does Pasternak have? Oh, just the one. Just the one. Interesting. All right. Okay, anything else? Let me show you all a little bit of college basketball. We'll do that. We'll talk about college basketball, and then we'll talk about... Well, actually, hold on. Let's see. Oh, we didn't see the... So March 13th. Okay. Do we have any other big... See what other big games we have going on. Dominican Republic. So this one was today. Yeah, Brazil and Mexico. Brazil, Great Britain. Cuba, Puerto Rico. This could be a fun game. Mexico, United States. Dominican Republic and Venezuela. This could be March 11th. Yeah, we only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 13, 14, 15. We only got 17 more games. And I think when you look at the standings, I think Colombia, Great Britain, Czech, and one more loss, and Nicaragua would be eliminated. Anyways. All right, let's talk a little bit about college hoops. And the reason why I think we should talk about college hoops is because I think we saw... Whoa, that was quick. That was a fast overtime. Hold on. That was barely 13 seconds. Okay, Boston is 6-2 in overtime. Pittsburgh is 3-5 in overtime. If either of these teams get to a shootout, Pittsburgh is 1-9, and Boston is 2-3. Yeah, this was super quick. Let's go back to it. 53, 52, 51. So 10 seconds in. Just kind of a little give and go. Nothing too crazy. Was there a kicking? Hold on. I don't think there would have been a kicking because Pasternak's just kind of sitting there. Nope. Nope. Okay. Oh my gosh. The last 3-goal comeback without Sidney Crosby or Evgeny Malkin was in 2001. February of 2001. That was forever ago. Because, yeah, right now, if you are a little bit out of the loop with regards to Penguins hockey or just the NHL as a whole, right now Gino is serving a suspension, which I think is very warranted because he took a slash. Gosh, I don't even remember who he took a slash at. He took a slash at somebody. Let me go look. It'll show it here. Dahlin. Yeah. It was against the Sabres the other day. Has been suspended 5 games for slashing Buffalo Sabres defenseman Rasmus Dahlin during Thursday's game. Let's fast forward here. Right. Okay, so Gino's right here. So good check here down low. And then Gino comes back and watch Gino's stick here. Whack. Which, yeah, that's 5 games every time. Every stinking time. And then they dropped the gloves and then he started grabbing him. And then they fought for a little bit, but yeah. Was it warranted? The 5 games? Yes. I think, I mean, there's a little bit of, what's the word I'm saying? What's the word I'm trying to say? Not sportsmanship, gamesmanship of like, shit happens. And like, if you want to solve stuff, yes, let's drop the gloves. Let's brawl it out for a little bit. Anyways. I missed this. I didn't know about this. All right. We'll come back to hockey. Let's talk a little bit about the great game that we just saw. Game probably ended about 30 minutes ago, maybe, before the stream started. But if you are a big fan of the Michigan Wolverines or the Michigan State Spartans, they're almost to their 200th meeting all time. Through some of the stats and the graphs that I saw, I'm not pulling this out of my ass. I didn't know this. Like they talked about, that's the only reason why I know some of this, is I believe this is their 14th meetup where they're within the top 10. Obviously, Michigan State at the 8 and Michigan at the 3. This game was very entertaining in like my own personal opinion. I think it was entertaining the whole way. I think Michigan State really put it on them there in the first half. I mean, you look at the 8-0 run that they had before halftime, but there, I think Linderborg, it was either Linderborg or Johnson. One of them had a clutch 3 there right at halftime to make it 42-41 because Michigan had no answers there for a little bit, which is what started the run for Michigan State. But then in the second half, I think that's when Michigan kind of took over. I think Collar had a great game. Fears had a good game. I think Fears put up 21 or something, which he also got himself in a couple, situations. Like there was one play. I don't think it would show it. Yeah, it's not going to show. But there was a play where it was in the first half, but it looked like he scroll tapped. Looks like he scroll tapped Cadeau, which I think Cadeau had an okay game. He just, I mean, again, you know when you have a hot hand and stuff, like your presence is felt in different ways and stuff. Because I mean, points wise, no, he didn't have the biggest game. But I mean, you think about Mara. Mara only had 4 points, but the dude, just on the defensive side, there were a lot of. I mean, he had a couple huge defensive blocks or strips at the rim, which was really critical. What else? What else? Linderborg had a huge game. He's a big reason why these guys won. I mean, I didn't even catch this when it was happening. 3 for 5. 5 for 6, my bad. 5 for 6 with the 3 ball. I think he must have been the one. He must have been the one that scored right before halftime. 14:06. Oh my gosh, look at this. We're gonna be scrolling for a while. 4 minutes left in the first. 1 minute left in the first. Oh, it was Burnett. It was actually Burnett who had that 3. But then Yaxel did have the assist. Okay. Which again, to this point, Michigan State was starting to take over. Which Michigan, in the second half, they had. It won't give me an actual point breakdown on it, but they had an 11-0 run, and then Michigan State scored, but then they went back to. Oh, is it going to show it here? Like largest? No. Because this 11-point lead was towards the end. Kind of garbage time. Even though there wasn't really any garbage time. I would say garbage time happened a little after the big dude on Michigan State. He forced a foul. He fouled Mara when he didn't need to, and it showed like Tom Izzo was so upset and pissed at him for it. But I would say around there, which was around the 2.5-ish, 3-minute mark. I would say from there on, that's when the game was at times out of reach. Because again, with the 11-0 run that Michigan went on, they went on their little run, scored some points, and they were making some clutch threes, getting some stops on defense. And after getting that big lead that they had, because at one point Michigan did have their 5-point lead, they tied it, took that lead in that run, and then from there Michigan would get a 3 ball or a tight contested 2, and they try to bring the lead within 5 points, but then Michigan would go back, score a quick bucket or something, and they would just keep the distance within 2 possessions. And that's probably what it was for the majority of the second half. Still entertaining as hell. Like, if we can get... I didn't realize how much the freaking... sorry, I didn't know how much the light was on my face. Sorry, people. But if we can get the men's, what's the word I'm looking for? Like if the Big 12 championship bracket and the tournament for the Big 10, the tournament for the ACC, if it can be as entertaining as this game was, we're going to be in for it, and it's going to be fun. Because the 80-90, it doesn't actually indicate how, the Wolverines won by 10 points. They showed why they're the number 3 team in the country, why they've only lost to Duke and Wisconsin, and they showed resilience. But there were times when, Michigan State's going to win this game. They're going to pull away. This is when it starts. And again, the momentum of how Michigan's team would adapt, answer, and take over. Like Michigan State right after they lost that lead in the second half and they were playing catch up the whole game. That's what it was. I think other things too, you got to look at the 3 ball. 3 ball was not working, which it wasn't really working over on this side either. I mean, 10 for 22, 6 for 18. Nothing, you know, nothing too crazy, but who else had a pretty big game? Johnson Jr., Linderborg, Kohler with his 23 piece. Fierce had 22. My bad, not 21. Whoops. I think Carson Cooper had a big game. Yeah, Kohler shot the ball a lot. Oh my gosh. All I remember is like what got my attention was Fears was boxing out somebody at the top of the key. I don't remember when this particular play happened, but it's when he's boxing a guy out at the top of the key. He kicked it out to Kohler, and Kohler just sunk it. Which it's like big man shooting threes. Like it makes sense in the NBA because that's all we see, but in college basketball, that doesn't happen as often. And if I were to make a blanket statement, very vague, I would say like there's more. I would say those shots happen less in college basketball because there is more defense played, and because defense is a little bit more intense at the college level than the NBA level, you kind of get less. I mean, look at this. 65 shots versus 55 shots. But then let's just go over to an NBA game. Let's go look at the Knicks and the Lakers today. 82 shots. 34 shots at the three ball. 81 shots, 44 shots at the three ball. Where 18, 22. So again, we're comparing taking 40 something 3-point shots versus 18 or 22. See what I mean? Like the game's just a little different. It's a little different. And again, the sun is in my eyes and it's bugging me and it makes it look a little silly. But yeah, we'll see where. Which in fact, I want to look up. I wonder what the let's do Big Ten tournament bracket. Let's see if they got one queued up. I don't think they do. No, they don't. I know the Big 12 has one, and I think the Big East has one. Because we're waiting on the Nebraska. Because with Michigan State's loss, Nebraska could take the 2 seed. Nebraska beat Iowa. So if Nebraska beat Iowa and Michigan State lost, maybe Nebraska takes the 2 seed. Because all I know, because they were talking about it during the broadcast, that with a win, Michigan State would secure the 2 seed. Because Michigan won the 1 seed in the Big Ten regular season title. They already won that stuff. Let me show you what we're looking at here. No, not tickets. There we go. See, we need this, but we need this to be grabbable. You can't grab it, which means it hasn't been posted everywhere yet. I think once this becomes available to the public, because I don't think they've started selling. Because I think it's one of those things where once they start selling tickets and once the season is all done, then they release the schedule and the seedings and everything. So it's like, yeah, let's go make our predictions. Let's go make stuff, because yeah. Jack Eichel. Vegas is going to play the Oilers today as well. If you're into that kind of stuff. I don't know. Are they playing on the? Because I see this. Are they playing on the glass? Are they playing on the glass court? Let me do 1 hour ago. Okay, is it available now? Nope, here's another one. Still kind of the same. Arizona with 1, Houston at the 2, Kansas at the 3. Come on. Let's try Big East. Oh, do we have... Here we go. Is it going to work? Oh, which this was interesting. Yeah, this one. Because Fears got teed up for, a little squirrel tap. And that, like, at the last second, Izzo just... Here's what I'm worried about with Fears. What I'm worried about is... Because you know how some games are. Because they were talking about it a little bit on the broadcast. The reason why today's play was such a big... Because I'll be honest, this is probably the first, game I've actually watched fully all the way through instead of just watching highlights and stuff. And usually sometimes when you watch highlights, if there are flagrant fouls like this or just little misconducts, usually they just edit it out and you don't even see it and you don't know the emotions and the feels of the game because it's just edited out of the highlights. But when you watched this play transpire and then they rewound it to when he had his hard foul against Michigan when the Spartans were the home team. There's that hard foul, but then also I think he was playing Maryland or something where same exact thing. He got tied up, got off balance, and then the one leg kicked up, and he squirrel tapped the dude. Because it showed that replay, yeah, it was kind of a given of, okay, this has happened before. And I mean, yeah, if the refs are looking for it, they're going to target him on it. And that's where I'm wondering and a little concerned about is not only him, but you look at the guy also from Kansas. You look at the guy from, just if the refs know about it and if there's any, and then when we start Big Ten tournament or the Big East tournament, because also look at Coach Hurley, because Coach Hurley got teed up the other day too. What I'm a little about is what if we're getting into one of these big games in the round of 32 or the Sweet 16 where Michigan's down by like 2 or 3 points, we're in the second half, and then he gets caught up doing something stupid, and then he gets thrown out of the game. Watch for that. So, and I could say the same thing about Coach Hurley, where what if, there's a hard foul or something, and he's getting in the ref's face, and the ref's like, I'm not having it. Boom, get out of here. And then for the whole second half, UConn has to do it all alone with their assistant coach or something. Like, I just, there's parts of me that feel like undisciplined basketball, I don't know. Sometimes it comes in and bites you in the ass later down the line. Because, gosh, I'm trying to think of just in recent memory. Because if you want to say undisciplined, not in the undisciplined in the way of like game sight and sounds, like look at the last play of last year's final with Houston and Florida, which it wasn't like it was unsound because Sharp got picked up, but then nobody was around him to help. You know what I mean? Which is why he had to take the double. And I think like just if it comes to, because that's the worst case scenario, because we saw how that game ended. But like there's just parts of me where if there's a weakness, where you got a coach that has a hot head, or because who else in this game alone? Because for a lot of time in the first half too, there were so many whistles blown because things were just getting chippy. One of the players too I don't think they got a tech, but they got a foul because after he made the layup and then Cooper Jr. was trying to throw it back in, he swatted the ball away from his hands, which it's little stuff like that, but there's parts of me that think that when we get into the nitty-gritty, when the tournament starts, that those kind of like little things, they're going to get exploited. And you know that there's going to be a team out there where you look at, oh gosh, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Yes, Michigan, but like you look at a Duke team or a Houston team with a little bit of redemption on their side, where if Houston meets up with Michigan State and it's like, hey, we know these guys get into foul trouble, and they just pick at it a little bit, it's gonna who knows. All right, let me go. Yep, there we go. Dan Hurley ejected. Which, does this put Marquette in the driver's seat to try to get a box? Because they call it like a quad win or something. There's some lingo and there's some terms to it, but I have no clue. Where is the bracket? There's the bracket. Bracket's not going to work. Okay, never mind. Lame. Super duper lame. Yeah, we'll do more. We'll do more later. But yeah, this game was freaking awesome. Let me quit yapping. So, all right. Let's see if anything else happened in college basketball. All our ranked wins are done and over with. Oh wow, look at Nebraska dominated in the second half. Then Illinois gets a win. Which I'm curious as to how is Michigan not slated to be a number 2 when they're ranked higher than Illinois? Whatever. Which, in fact, let me pull up something here real quick. Real quick, and then we can end the stream. Oh, Boston U beat Navy. You know what? The glass floor doesn't look too bad. Where is... Yeah, AQ watch, 2 of 31 punched. Okay, so Tennessee State, LIU. And I did see this. I did see that Harry Potter University made a... where is... I guess we don't have... Damn. Okay, whatever. Which we'll talk about this. There's parts of me that do want to make a video for Miami going undefeated. Because I think it's cool. I think it's actually really cool. Because the only other teams... I did a post somewhere. Yeah, here we go. Kentucky. Yeah, Kentucky. I forgot this Gonzaga team went undefeated. But again, it was a shortened bubble half season, you know what I mean? But the last true undefeated Kentucky, and then before them Wichita State, and before them, oh my gosh, bruh, freaking old, dude. I kinda remember this a little bit, like. Anyways, yeah, I thought there'd be a post or something talking about here's the projected matchups. But considering that we're, almost there, probably not. Probably not. All right. Let's go take one more lap. What other stuff that we can talk about? We can talk about. You know what I haven't talked about? Let's go with the NFL. Let's go talk about the NFL a little bit. I heard about this. I heard about him being a little bit of a, which maybe it's the Pat McAfee connection, because you know whose names I'm starting to hear a little bit more of. Okay, I don't know what everybody's smoking lately. I think Mike Evans. I don't think Mike Evans is going to leave Tampa Bay. I mean, because he could have left Tampa Bay before, but he stayed, and then he ended up winning a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Now, is Baker Mayfield Tom Brady? No. But he's been there for over a decade, and I think, when you look at, the career lifespan of a receiver and stuff, not everybody can get to 10 plus years. I think he retires a Buck. That's just me. I mean, I did think Devontae Adams was going to retire a Packer, but things are the way they are, and but I think if he wanted out of Tampa, I think it would have already happened. And I think the other thing too is I think the rumors of if he were to leave would be louder. Kind of like with how loud it is when we're talking about, Kyler Murray's going to go play for the Minnesota Vikings. You know what I mean? Which the media frenzy behind him going and getting $30 million a year for some other team, I don't. Yeah, there's a lot of media frenzy behind these two QBs. Which notice how I'll say this too. Notice how we made our lists and we said these are who the top free agents are when it's all said and done. And then all of a sudden, drop of a hat, Max Crosby said, hold my nuts. No, but freaking he was on the board for like a split second, and then he ended up being the most, like, I would equate his trade kind of like the Micah Parsons from Dallas to Green Bay. I'm thinking of like in recent memory of just trades lately, and especially on the defensive side of the ball. Because I mean, I'm going to be honest, and I'll need to make a video on this too, but considering where we are, I'm trying to look. Khalil Mack returning to Chargers on a 1-year deal. Crosby bids farewell to Vegas. Excited about the Ravens. Yeah, considering that the NFL is a little slow right now, the Crosby trade is a big deal, and I do think it improves the Ravens a lot. I'm going to hammer this home and ride with this wave, but I still think the Ravens can be the real deal, and I think they can be a legit contender. because I think parts of me think the AFC is wide open this year. Because I think, well, I don't know what to think, but there's parts of me that think I don't think the Broncos are going to have, because I'll look at it from this point of view. I don't think the Broncos are going to have as dominant of a season as they did this year for next year. That's one thing. Because we saw the fall off, too, of like crucial one possession games, miracle wins or whatever. We saw what the Chiefs' record was in 2024 versus 2025, where in those games where they do win on a blocked field goal walk-off, this time around, Lutz is actually making the field goal and handing them a loss. So there's parts of that where I think Broncos might fall off a little bit. I don't think the Patriots are going to be... I don't think they're going to be back in the driver's seat for the AFC, because there's parts of me that think the Bills with Josh Allen, and especially bringing on DJ Moore, because we got to talk about DJ Moore too. There's parts of me that think that after the years that Buffalo won it in a row, we have a little bit of revenge, a little bit of redemption on, let's reclaim the East. And the truth is too, like, that division comes down to whoever can split. Like, if you split it 1-1, I mean, that's why the Patriots ended up winning that division, because they could split it 1-1, which both of the road teams ended up winning those games last season. But, Bengals still need to worry about a defense before they even consider playoff contention. The Chiefs got to work on retooling that offensive line. And arguably, I'd say they got to work on a lot more receivers too, because we have seen how reliable, like, if we're just going to put all of our eggs, I was thinking of basket and eggs together, dumb, but if we're going to put all of our eggs in the Travis Kelce basket and just go off of 2021 and 2022 hopes, like, it's not going to work. Like, I think the Chiefs have had decent receivers and enough weapons, so you want to call it, for Mahomes to work and be successful. Like, it has not worked. And I've gone on record, and I'll go on record again. There's parts of me that think that once this trade NFL starts to get going and we really get going, I think Justin Jefferson's out of Minnesota. And I think with how crazy the Max Crosby trade was, there's parts of me that think, and mark this, I was saying this back in freaking December. No. Yeah, December or January. I think I said it in January. But, so I've said this for like the last month-ish. But there's parts of me that think with how big the trade for Max Crosby from Vegas to Baltimore, something thinks that when this thing starts, there's parts of me that, what if Kyler Murray goes to Minnesota and then Justin Jefferson's like, okay, I'm out. There's a lot of attention, attention in the way of leverage on, I don't want him to be my QB. Get me out of here. You know what I mean? And then we're all guessing and supposing that Tyreek Hill is also going to go back to Kansas City. So yeah, if you put Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Kelce coming back, you put all of them together, yes, it's, still got to have a running game. Still got to have successful offensive linemen. And then also, too, a lot of their key pieces that were on their Super Bowl winning teams on the defensive side of the ball, they aren't there anymore, too. So you got to, like, one player is not just magically going to carry the whole team. But anyways, that was a long-winded response to just basically say, we're going to get rolling here in the NFL stuff with trades and whatnot. And I think and then going back to this, I think if we were talking with how much we're talking about Kyler Murray going to the Vikings, if it was the same kind of energy that we talk about, we'd already know where Mike Evans would go. We would already know where Willis is going to go. But I think there's parts of me, like, let's look at the Raiders, for example, because the Raiders cut Geno Smith. We know that Mendoza's going to go there. There's parts of me where if you were Cleveland, Vegas, a little bit of Tennessee too, because Cam Ward was the number 1 overall pick. But if you look over the last handful of seasons, Will Levis, Malik Willis, like, Tennessee has taken quarterbacks before in the last 3 straight drafts, and look at how they've all panned out. But I think he gets a little bit more grace, though, because he is the number 1 overall. But anyways, I think you look and you see, I think that, like, if we knew where Malik Willis was going to go, those rumors would start. But then there's also parts of me that think NFL ownerships and franchises, they'd take a risk on a rookie over Malik. I don't know. I could be wrong. But then you also look, like, the Giants have a quarterback. They got their guy. I mean, I've joked that Kyler Murray goes to the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers goes to the Vikings, and then J.J. McCarthy or something goes to the Cardinals. Like, I've joked about a three trade deal. You could include the Atlanta Falcons too, get Kirk Cousins to go somewhere too, because a lot of people are talking about Kirk O'Chain's coming back to Minnesota. So it is what it is. But at the end of the day, though, because a lot of this is about Max Crosby. I think Max Crosby is a big addition piece to the Ravens if they're going to try to get over the top and just get over that stinking hump. Because, that's what brought it up, because I started talking about the teams in the AFC. We already saw what Herbert's been in the postseason and in the playoffs. We've seen C.J. Stroud as well. And so you look up and you go, okay, who else is in the AFC? Steelers. I think the Ravens can beat the Steelers. They have before in the past. But, yeah. And then the Colts, too. I mean, there's parts of me that think, do I think the Colts are to the level of what we've seen from successful AFC teams in it? No. But again, if we're going to have a weird year where, wow, we have 2 new teams that we haven't seen in a while in the Super Bowl, well, Colts could be one of the, because I would say a Colts Rams would be different and unique, because it's like, well, we haven't seen the Colts in a long time. We haven't seen the Rams in 4 years. What's another team? Anyways. So, but yeah, I think Crosby's going to be a big key piece to the Ravens defense. People are going to laugh at it and say that, Ravens suck and they're not going to get to the postseason, which, you know what, they might not. But what can't be ignored when you look at what the Ravens season was last year is, how many games did Lamar Jackson miss due to injury? How many key pieces on that defensive side of the ball were injured? And then how many games were lost due to crucial fumbles by Derrick Henry? And when Lamar did come back, they won 5 games in a row to even up their record at an even 500 or something. Because at one point, I think they were 2-7 or 2-6. And then Lamar came back. They won 5 in a row, making them 6-6 or something like that. And then it all came down to the field goal by Tyler Loop against the Steelers. So I would argue and say, could a Max Crosby, his help on the defensive side of the ball, prevent the Steelers from even, getting within field goal range to kick and tie it? You see what I mean? I don't know. Wait, hold on. I'm backwards here. They had the lead. You see what I mean? Sorry, I'm speaking way backwards. And got distracted because Detroit is up 2-0. We got to make a hockey video too, because we are on Come on. So the Avalanche did beat the Wild 3-2 in a shootout. And then the Penguins beat the Bruins with a 3-0 comeback. How long have we been streaming? Oh, shit, we've been streaming a while. So, anyways, guys, we're going to end the stream here, though. I thank you guys for watching. Sorry for rambling this long. I did want to do a gaming stream. So, I'll leave you guys here with these sports thoughts. But those are my thoughts on the World Baseball Classic. We'll just see how the rest of tournament play pans out and stuff. And then we got to do... I didn't do it this stream because none of them are ready. But when the brackets release for this is what the Big East, Big 12, Big 10... when those brackets get out there for tournament play, because I believe this is the last day. Nope. Because what the hell? Yeah, we're still not done. Like, some teams are done, yes, but look at this. I'm trying to see here, like, Tuesday? Because here we are. We still got a couple regular season games to go. But does tournament play full on start mañana? Probably does, because we got St. Mary's chilling here. So, anyways, all right, guys, that's enough of me rambling. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and give me a couple minutes. I'll see you guys back here for a gaming stream. Peace out.